So the first point you make is the tasks that get done must be interesting, meaningful, and well defined.
Hmm.
And so you're describing kindling now, aren't you?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think the well-defined is maybe a bit amorphous, but yeah, I think um, the other two are clear for
Well,
sure.
I think I know what you
Yeah.
mean by well defined. Do you want me to explain to
Yeah.
you what you meant?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be good.
It's that whole strategic action piece. That's what well defined is. It's coming up
Mm.
with the activity that'll give me the most forward momentum. To me,
Yeah.
that's what the well defined part was. Not just
Yeah.
work
Okay.
on project X, but call
Hmm.
so and so who's unrelated to project X to ask him this question because he's an expert
Right.
in this area. And once he can help me understand this, I'll know what my strategic next action is for project X. That's a well
Yeah.
defined.
Okay. That sounds about right.
So I think
Yeah.
I think your well defined was snafu. Snafu
Yeah.
was if we had to replace well defined with snafu, you would have known exactly what you meant.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
Okay, let's do number two. Good structure and structured workflow enables the state of flow.
Hmm.
So what do you mean by that?
I think that's related to, structuring how you capture your ideas, um, and freeing your mind so that it can, continue not having to remember stuff, but actually just connecting ideas, and having that structure where you can look back, write your ideas down. Your brain knows, okay, those are done. And when you come back to those ideas, whether it's in your slip box or mind map or on just a big A3 piece of paper, which I sometimes write my notes on,
Yeah.
I often will go back through those ideas that I quickly jotted down and connect a whole bunch of things and create, more things like your example, I think, where, you came up with a new concept for coaching that applied to others.
Okay.
So I think that whole sort of, it can almost become exponential. And I
Yeah.
think that's how the slip box and how to take smart notes, that's part of the structured concept, I think.
Yeah. And I think the other thing you're also saying is you brought up the asynchrony again, the way you described that. So
Hmm.
so kind of make the work asynchronous. And so
Yeah.
do the strategic thing first might be bad advice on a few different levels, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's, it's almost this concept of strategic procrastination, right?
Yeah.
It's seen as a bad thing to procrastinate, but if you procrastinate with a purpose to be asynchronous and get yourself into flow by doing what your brain wants to do, um, yeah, I think you can use procrastination to your advantage.
Yeah. Well, and that's where and I love your phrase, put the pro in procrastination, right?
Yeah.
And so free your mind and the rest will follow. Undistracted brain plus reliable collection of notes equals flow. So this is what David Allen would have called the ready for anything state, right? Where you've got this
Mm.
mind like water, you're ready to engage with whatever, you're not distracted, you're not trying to remember anything, and then you can just start
Yeah,
engaging in whichever activity you pick first.
that's
And
right.
one thing I've discovered through some research over the last year, intrinsic satisfaction tacks from one activity to another, even if they're totally unrelated.
Hmm.
So if I
Yeah.
read a really interesting chapter in a book, and I kid you not, if I read an interesting chapter in a book in the morning, my run is 8 to 10% faster that day.
Wow.
Like totally unrelated activities, but the intrinsic satisfaction tacks because it's the
Wow.
same it's the
Interesting.
same body. And so one thing I would suggest, which I do,
Hmm.
is I line up I line if I am going to sequence some work, I line it up around okay, if I'm going to get stimulated by something in the morning, make sure my run is after that because my run will be faster. And then
Right. I see.
if my run's in the middle of the day and I have a faster run, I'll feel so good. I'll start having new ideas about things I've been stuck on while I'm on the run. I don't have to think about them.
Right.
They just start coming to me. It's like your idea of the log burns itself.
Right.
Ideas
Yeah.
start landing on my shoulders as I'm having my fast run. And then when I
Hmm.
come in the afternoon, I'm now ready to do work. that I had no idea how to approach in the morning.
Hmm.
And so I do
Wow.
line it up that way because of the intrinsic
Interesting.
satisfaction tacking from one activity to another.
So it's asynchronous across activity types as well, as much as the
Exactly.
tasks. Yeah.
Exactly. And
Hmm.
activity types where if I do my run first, I'm not going to read the book any better.
Hmm.
Like there'll be
Right.
two enjoyable things, but they won't tack.
Hmm.
But if I
Interesting.
read the book first, I am going to do my run better. So
Right.
let's keep that in mind as we approach the how are you going to solve your next challenge, right? Let's keep that little
Sure.
tidbit in mind. And then you
Yeah.
have
Maybe I
this
need to start running more.